Hey there, pirates! Welcome aboard the Anime No Mi channel. During his journey, Luffy has accumulated numerous marks on his body, although only a few are visible. However, this doesn't mean he doesn't have other scars. Only those that hold special significance to the character remain visible. In today's video, we'll discuss all the scars Luffy has acquired so far, both the visible ones and those hidden on his body, and explain how he obtained them throughout his journey in search of the One Piece. I hope for your support to help our crew win, and to do so, you just need to click the thumbs up button, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. By doing this, you will win an incredible devil fruit, so just comment which fruit you want. Guys, Luffy has several marks on his body. The first one, which he has carried since childhood, is the one just below his eye. During his youth, in an attempt to prove to Shanks that he was no longer a child, Luffy took a blade and stabbed it under his eye, resulting in the scar that has become a symbol recognized by many. This was the first and one of the most significant scars Luffy acquired throughout his life. The second scar, obtained during his journey, was caused by an enemy during the Baratie arc. Facing Don Krieg, Luffy was struck by several piercing projectiles. Although only 3 hit him, impacting his left leg, shoulder, and abdomen, Luffy also struck the spikes of Don Krieg's cape, piercing his right hand. Luffy acquired another scar during his confrontation with Kuro in the Syrup Village arc. Kuro, being a fast adversary, delivered multiple slashes with his blades, hitting Luffy's arms, legs, abdomen, and even his chest. During the Arlong Park arc, Luffy suffered powerful bites from Arlong. His bites hit Luffy's shoulders, elbow, and abdomen, causing significant punctures, although they didn't result in a visible scar. Another significant scar occurred during the Alabasta arc when Crocodile pierced Luffy's chest with his hook, leaving him bleeding slowly and close to losing his life. In the Skypiea arc, Luffy faced Enel, who also caused an invisible scar by striking Luffy's jaw with his staff. Despite this, the wound wasn't life-threatening for Luffy. During the Water 7 and Enia's lobby arcs, Luffy faced several CP9 agents. In his final confrontation against Lucci, the agent managed to hit Luffy multiple times, almost taking his life. The impacts of Lucci's attacks were easily capable of causing bruises on Luffy, in addition to his piercing attacks. However, in this confrontation, we don't see any new visible scar on Luffy's body. In the Marineford arc, former Admiral Aokiji caused a scar on Luffy's right shoulder by creating an ice stake with his devil fruit power, giving him a significant wound, but with a hidden scar. In the same arc, during the escape from this major battle, Akainu inflicted a visible scar on Luffy's chest, which became a symbol for the character. At the climax of the battle between the greatest, Jinbei rescued a shaken Luffy and fled from the confrontation with Akainu. However, Akainu pursued them and pierced Jinbei's chest with his magma power, splashing lava on Luffy and leaving an X-shaped mark on his chest that would mark him for the rest of his life. In the Dressrosa arc, Luffy confronted Doflamingo, who caused some injuries that could have resulted in scars on his body. Using his strings, Doflamingo struck Luffy's entire body, leaving invisible marks on his body. Katakuri was also able to cause many scars on Luffy, especially on his left abdomen. With a powerful punch, Katakuri was able to pierce Luffy, causing a significant wound and possibly an invisible scar. During the Wano arc, the powerful Yonko injured Luffy multiple times during their confrontations, especially in the final battle between Luffy and Kaido. Since Luffy suffered many wounds, let's talk about the events and injuries that may have resulted in a scar on Luffy's body. It all begins with Luffy and the Straw Hats arriving in Wano, where they started their plan to defeat Kaido. However, they drew a lot of attention from Kaido's pirates, leading the Emperor to learn that Luffy was in his territory. Upon receiving this information, Kaido personally went to the Kuri region to confront Luffy, resulting in their first confrontation. The battle lasted only a few minutes, as Luffy was knocked out with a single blow from the Kanabo. When hit by the sharp points of the Kanabo, Luffy's body suffered punctures due to the impact, resulting in his first scar acquired in Wano, an invisible scar like the others on his body. After defeating Luffy, Kaido was impressed by his fighting talent and ordered his pirates to imprison him so he could be useful in his plans. Kaido wanted to break Luffy's spirit and have him as a soldier in his crew. Luffy, after being taken to Wano's prison, managed to escape amid a series of confrontations that injured his body several times. But even so, Luffy continued his journey to defeat Kaido. During the major events of the arc, Luffy and his allies invaded Onigashima to confront Kaido's pirates once again. This time, Luffy was notably more powerful. Kaido was impressed when he realized that Luffy had refined his haki to the point of using a technique capable of penetrating his defenses. He acknowledged that Luffy was one of the few pirates who could make him feel pain. Comparing Luffy to famous pirates like Edward Newgate, Odin, and even Gol D. Roger, Kaido began to recognize Luffy as a powerful adversary. He decided to no longer hold hold back in the fight to defeat him. Kaido was also surprised to see that Luffy was not as easily defeated as the first time they met. The Emperor grew even more excited during the battle, revealing his incredible strength as he realized that Luffy also grew stronger with each passing moment. He decided to no longer restrain himself against Luffy. Despite being stronger, Luffy still couldn't defeat Kaido. After taking many attacks and being severely injured by the Kanabo's strikes, Luffy was hit with a devastating blow falling from Onigashima. However, Luffy was saved and brought back to Onigashima to continue his confrontation with Kaido. Upon returning to Onigashima, Luffy showed Kaido that he had further strengthened his Haoshoku Haki, causing even more damage to his adversary. This display of power only increased Kaido's excitement in defeating Luffy. Now, Kaido saw Luffy as an opponent worthy of his strength. Not only was Luffy able to defend himself against his blows, but he also inflicted significant damage on Kaido's body. Kaido even remarked that the battle was becoming fun. To celebrate the fight against a worthy adversary, Kaido began to drink and entered his Shuran Haka form to face Luffy. He admitted to recognizing Luffy's strength and considered him a worthy opponent. Despite his efforts, Kaido could no longer harm Luffy, and the battle became evenly matched. For a time, Luffy and Kaido fought each other without being able to injure one another. However, an unexpected event occurred during the confrontation. At this moment of balance, a CP0 member appeared, disrupting the incredible clash between Luffy and Kaido. The CP0 agent interfered to prevent Luffy from having a chance to defeat Kaido. He hindered Luffy, preventing him from defending against a powerful blow from Kaido, allowing Kaido to land his attack fully. Luffy was struck with extreme force by Kaido's Kanabo, a blow that could take anyone's life, regardless of their resilience. This attack resulted in an instant defeat for Luffy, as it was able to knock him out and severely injure the protagonist's body, leaving him close to losing his life. Even Kaido couldn't believe that Luffy would survive this blow. During the Wano confrontation, Luffy suffered a series of injuries caused by Kaido upon awakening his sun god Nika fruit. This awakening granted Luffy an enhanced body defense, making him practically invulnerable. Kaido repeatedly struck Luffy's body with his powerful Kanabo, but to everyone's surprise, his attack seemed to have no effect on Luffy's new transformation. His body was completely resistant to ordinary attacks. Not even Kaido's fearsome Boro breath was able to cause significant damage, only leaving Luffy's body slightly burned for a short period. This leads us to assume that the blows Luffy received from Kaido's Kanabo after awakening his fruit caused little to no damage to his body, thanks to his great elasticity. In the current Egghead arc, Luffy fought Lucci again, but since he's stronger now, Luffy didn't suffer any scratches. Even though Luffy faced CP0 and some Seraphim, Luffy still remains unscathed. After facing Kizaru and the Five Elders, we see that due to the power of Gear 5, Luffy didn't receive any serious injuries except for the consequences of using Gear 5 and what might happen to him from constantly using the power of awakening. After all, we always see him with that weakened and aged appearance after a long battle with Gear 5. But what do you think of all this? Did I miss any of Luffy's scars or injuries? Comment below. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.